Okay, if you don't know me, my name is Professor Martha Salzman. I'm a clinical assistant professor in the Department of Accounting and Law, one of two on the law side of that department. And I have the honor of introducing the introducer. I get to introduce one of the nicest people I have ever met since coming to UB. And that is Mark Bruno, who's going to be introducing Alex Ampadu, our 2026 Accountant of the Year. I think probably most of you know Mark Bruno, but if you don't, he was at PricewaterhouseCoopers, PwC for 45 years. 45 years. I'd like to say that's older than me, but it's not. And started out on the accounting side, but ended up finding his niche in recruiting and HR. Since retiring from PwC in 2018, he's been involved in talent acquisition, and he's an HR consultant, including to the School of Management's own Career Resource Center. Mark is a good friend to the School of Management, to our students, and to Alex. And so we asked him to introduce Alex tonight and thank him for doing so. So I'm going to hand it over to Mark.
Thank you, Martha, for your kind and generous introduction. Very nice. Our award recipient tonight, Alex Ampadu. How do I know him? Actually, I beat him here by 6 years. Professor Ampadu arrived at UB in 1986. He was a welcome addition to the staff. You know, I was a PW talent acquisition leader at the time, and frequently at UB, and over 40 years hired many, I'm sure over 1,000 School of Management graduates who've joined our firm. All of this had frequent interaction and collaboration with Alex as well as other great faculty at UB. You know, if you want great graduates and great new hires into your firm with diversity and skills and deep knowledge and great experience, you got to come to UB. I have to tell you, though, today we enjoy a close family relationship. Say that, right? That's a good thing. I'll give you a few adjectives that I think about when I consider Alex. I say he's industrious, he's diligent, he's determined, he's inspiring, and he's a relationship developer. So that's a lot of titles for him. Let me tell you about industrious. Late 15th century, industrious meant skillful, clever, and ingenious. And the Latin interpretation at that time was diligence. And that's him. All that's you. Determined, you know, his constant focus in the classroom instruction is high-level technical teaching, often collaboration with other value to the classroom and education for the students. And that was really his passion, is to deliver that level of education to the students and get them ready. It all represents his determination really to develop and adequately prepare these students to join a very challenging profession. Is he inspiring? I'd say he is. He inspires and guides students like one-on-one. And every one of the students who might be, or graduates who are with us tonight, I think you'll recognize having that one-on-one experience with Professor Ampadu. You know, he really focused on their continuous learning and career success. And you already know that already because you lived through it and you had that level of achievement. And look around us. I mean, he's the guy. He's been invited by former students. You may have seen in some of the picture show this evening, where he's at weddings. Well, he was at 103 weddings in these ceremonies in over 3 countries. No one does that. But I have to tell you, and I want to end this, but you know, oh, and by the way, Alex refers to my wife, Anna, as Mama. And we talk in accounting sometime about full disclosure. I guess we're brothers. You know, recently he asked me to accompany him to a medical doctor visit. So I agreed. And while there, he's called in to see the doctor. The doctor is like in just outside the room and welcomes Alex in, and he goes into the room, and I start, directly behind him, and the doctor says, whoa, 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 this is just for my patient and I. He said, I would really like time just with my patient. And I said, Alex, do you think you want me in the room? And he said, who is he? He said, he's my brother. The doctor looks at Alex, looks at me, Alex, back to me, same mama. I'm honored tonight to make this introduction to our University of Buffalo 2026 Accountant of the Year, Alex Ampadu. There's some water for you. I'm going to leave you right here. This is my.
That's all I can do with introduction like that. But we've been brothers. And we've been brothers more so than being two people who put their heads together to recruit UB students. This man over here, during my tenure, he's recruited a lot of UB students. And he has had them not just in Buffalo or New York or United States, but all the way to China. He has placed students, which also had made some Chinese students come to UB because they know they can go home. Somebody will recruit them to PwC over there. Now, outside of recruiting and his dedication to a lot of things at UB, this man has become a great friend of mine for almost 40 years. He and his wife have been so kind to me. Unfortunately, Mama couldn't be here today, but I would like you to help me with a round of applause, really to show that I really appreciate him and his wife for all what they have done for me, and in particular to my students over the years. In addition to Mr. Bruno, there are 2 relatives I have here, and I would like to introduce them before we carry on this. 2 young, handsome men. One of them is my oldest brother. Alex, would you stand up, please? That is my oldest son. If there is any representative in New Jersey who is so crazy about Buffalo Bills and Buffalo Sabres, that is the man. And I warn him about those people from the city. They don't want to hear that at all. But that's the man right there. There's another man here that I want to introduce to you, my godson, Wellington, a very recognizable businessman and very successful businessman. He grew up with Alex when they were all young, going to school together. Wellington. Well, I'm going to make my speech short, believe it or not. And all those students of mine who are here know when I say I'm going to make my class short, it means the class ends 20 minutes after it was scheduled to. But let me start by expressing my congratulations to all those people who receive awards. I really like the initiative there to award some prizes or so on to professors and to students in a very jovial way. I thought that's the first time it came through, and I liked it a lot. So today, what I'm going to do is, perhaps you know what I did at UB, but I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself. I think I owe it to myself to really tell you something about me, who is Alex Ampadu, okay? And then we will put it all together, and at the end, I have a few things to leave to the students, particularly those who are going to be graduating, okay? I spent the first 10 years of my life in a small village in Ghana, West Africa, with only 28 houses. Some of them were like huts that people live in. I had a great education in the University of Ghana, called Legon University. And at graduation, I was a member of an association called l'Association Internationale des Études Économiques et Sciences. You didn't forget your 101 French, did you? If you did, all it means is Association, International Association of Business and Economic Students. And through them, I was awarded an exchange program to come all the way from Ghana to Rochester, New York, to a company called Columbia Banking Savings and Loan in Rochester, New York, for a 1-year exchange program. When I got to Rochester and did the 1 year, I said, I like it here. And the people over there also like me. So what happened was they helped me to get my permanent residency in the US. I then took advantage of that and got my MBA. And after that, joined one of the big 8 firms then called Touche Ross, which eventually merged with Deloitte. While a manager at Touche Ross, I was selected to teach regional and national training programs, since I was always dedicated to teach and develop staff. This influenced my deeper teaching interest, which led to my career change. Excuse me. At that point, I expressed my interest to join a major university, and in 1986, I was granted a faculty position at UB. I found my true happiness and never looked back after that. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about my life at UB. And then we'll have the conclusion. I told you I'll be short this time. Okay. But I know Professor Hu, when she called me, said, you will have 6 hours. And I said, only 6 hours? That means it's just going to be the top level and all the other things that I need to say. I wouldn't have time to say for them. So I'll cut it short to 4 hours. Fasten your seatbelt. We're going to talk about my life at UB. Okay. I began teaching every course in sight. And I'm talking about starting with 201, 202. 201, 202, once upon a time, was a combined course. We used to call it 301. And then I did 301, 311, 302, MGA 412, 314, 614, 641, internal auditing courses, and you can keep on going and going and going. There were 2 reasons for this. Either I was so bad at teaching courses, so they put me into other courses, or somebody was trying to give me a sign that, won't you get tired and leave? Okay. But very luckily for me, I never taught law and tax. Too complicated. I stayed away from those courses. Some of you may think that professors just are lazy. They teach only 9 months a year. They take vacations during the summertime. But not me. I taught all year long, including breaks. Teaching and knowledge sharing are my love, and I also enjoy frequent travel. Did I say I enjoy frequent travel? I enjoy frequent travel a lot. So when KPMG came along and said, would you like to teach financial and audit education programs in 4 of our large cities in the United States? I said, of course, I would like to do that. And so I started teaching during the summer for KPMG and that. Then comes Becker Review. Like to teach in Bermuda the FAR and auditing courses for us. And I said, say what? I said, you want me to go to Bermuda and do what? You don't have to even pay me. Just give me the transportation and feed me and I will be okay. Don't worry. I jump at it. The third one was when the International Office of UB came to me and said, our program in Singapore, the same program, would you like to teach some courses there? That's what I like to do, provided the opportunity to travel. You take the big part I don't even like to be paid. Just pay my way and feed me, and I'll do those courses. Because I knew that would give me an opportunity. I was born in Africa. I had been to some European countries, but never to Asia. So it gave me an opportunity to go to Asia. And I got to tell you, by the time I stopped going to Singapore 2022, I have traveled to about 12 different countries in Asia. You name them. China, Taiwan, Japan, Malaysia, Vietnam, and you can go on and on and on. South Korea, Thailand. I got a chance to go to all those, including Indonesia, particularly Indonesia. I like the place a lot because the first time I went there, and I had to go and see another alum of UB who had established his own university over there. So I was rushing my first time there, and I got to the hotel, and I said, I want to change my dollars into the rupee because, and all of a sudden I became a millionaire. When they gave me the money, I said, oh my goodness, I'm a millionaire right away. From $100, I got about $2 million of rupee. But anyway, those are the places I was able to take advantage and visit. Did I tell you I like travel? And I like teaching? And when you put the two together, oh my goodness, you hit me badly. Okay. So, in addition to my significant recognition today, I want to tell you a little bit about me more. I was the first and only 4-time winner of the UB Merton Russell Excellence in Teaching Award. And I think I got that because I attended a lot of, how many did you say? How many weddings did you say? 103 weddings. Okay. So, my students knew that to attract me to attend their wedding, they would give me incredibly great reviews for my classes. And that's what they did all along. I've been a long time learner, recognized by professionals in various ways. While I was teaching and I was traveling, the two together, I also got into a situation where I was taking professional exams, many professional exams. Excuse me, I have cold today, but I'm here. So I added to my CPA certification, CFE, CG, CFF, CMA, CIA, and you can go on with all the C's. I was gathering C's all over the place. Okay. But I like my societies, the professional societies very well. Institute of Internal Audit, AICPA, New York State Society of Public Accountants, and so on. And I like that so much that some of you probably know that my license plate number says ABA CPA. When you see that, that is mine. And because I do like people to know the impact of CPA in my life. As to service, there were so many things that I was involved in. I'll just share a few of them to you that relate to students. I was Beta Alpha Psi faculty advisor for 12 years and twice was recognized by our national board as the faculty advisor of the year. Professor Batura, where is she? Oh, she might have left. I was going to tell her that comes with some pocket money. Not too much, but you know, when they make you when they recognize you as faculty advisor of the year, they also chip in a little bit pennies into your pocket. So look forward to that. I also serve on the National Beta Alpha Psi board for 3 years, whereby my area scanned from Maine all the way to Virginia, including all the big areas like in Boston and New York City, all those schools. Yeah. This school is really in my way. As far as UBA is concerned, I was part of linking UBA to the Institute of Internal Auditors and therefore got a chance to go to the meetings with them. The international meetings they hold every year. I founded the diverse organization of SOMA for minority student membership. I was a faculty advisor from inception until 2022. The inception, we started in early 1990s all the way to 2022. So you may wonder why I'm talking about myself instead of so many other topics that I can give to you. And that's because I wanted to link that to some of the advice I want to give to the students, because it's really the students day to day. And I'll go over 5 items and then we will all go back to complete the drinking and the eating. Okay. 5 items. When the dean talked earlier on, he mentioned a number of things about chat, a number of things about AI, and a number of things that are really things that we do not know where the world is going to be. And we are not talking of in the future. We're talking of next week or next 2 weeks. We don't know that. So there is something called the 5th year. The 5th year in the accounting program, you are all accounting students and so on, so you know your undergraduate to the 4 years, and then there is the 5th year. As far as I'm concerned, the 5th year should be compulsory for all of you. Because some of the things that we haven't been able to cover in the 4 years, some of the major skills, data analytics and so on and so forth, come in the 5th year. Okay. The 5th year is only 2 semesters. Okay. And you do yourself a favor by going through and getting those skill sets, because they are very, very important. Nobody knows how the pendulum is going to swing. So if you are so prepared in so many areas and really have yourselves certain credentials and so on, you'll be ahead of the competition when it's all said and done. It's very, very important for you to really not just sit back and say, 4 years, I'm done, I'm going in the people you saw here who really, maybe some of you have talked to them. Okay. when they come to recruit, they are going to say who has the skills. It's no longer the situation where during our time, when the good people working for us are the people who could really get on the adding machine and add and subtract and so on. No. The skill set is changed. We can't do it all in 4 years. There's a 5th year for you to get more skills and be ready. So no matter how the pendulum swings, you will be ready to get into that. Very important indeed. Other things. Let's talk about your job. You know, did I tell you that I like to teach and I also like to travel? Oh, okay. It's very, very important that the work you decide to pursue is something that you love. Okay. Something you love to do. Yeah. Before you accept a position and launch your career, to maintain your excitement and growth potential, you may want to consider this particular quotation that somebody had. It says, keep the old as long as it is good, and take the new as soon as it is better. And what it is that whatever job that you choose, graduating, okay, you're going to work your tail off. So you might as well choose something that you like to do. And believe me, I like teaching, and that's why I did it all my summertime with KPMG, with ECA CPA review, with our Singapore program. And I enjoy doing that. And particularly when I added the travel to it, I like it a lot. Take something that you love doing, and you are going to enjoy it. You wouldn't even sometimes even think that you are working when it comes to something that you like to do. Another advice I'll give you, seek a mentor, someone, a confidant, one who will coach, critique, support, and celebrate you along with your development and your successes and achievements. Don't pick somebody who will always praise you for what you're doing, but somebody who will be objective with you, tell you when you are wrong, and rejoice with you when also remember that you can be a mentor to somebody else. In other words, pay it forward. Take a mentor. I had a mentor all my life. Never told anybody who my mentor was. But I had a mentor all my life anywhere I went to. In my teaching career, I had a mentor also. I wouldn't mention his name. He's retired also. But mentor system is very, very important. Somebody who will be objective with you and do that. Okay. The next item. And that is, now you have Beta Alpha Psi, you have UBA, you have all these other student organizations you join. And that is good. That's the starting point. When you graduate, we have so many professional organizations. Institute of Internal Audit, AICPA, we have New York State Society of CPA, so many other organizations in there. It's time for you to participate in those. Very important indeed. And when I say participate, don't just pay your fees and say, I'm a member of IIA. No. But actually participate, serve on committees. At one point, almost every 2 weeks, I was in New York City. The AICPA office was in New York on 6th Avenue, and I serve on a committee there. I also serve on a committee for New York State Society, and so I was just back and forth, Buffalo to New York and back and forth and so on. Be active. Don't be just a member and pay your fees and tell people that you're a member of AICPA and just sit back. They need you. They run, even if you don't serve on a committee, they do have activities where they need people to really help put them together. It's very, very important that you do that. It helps you also. I'll give you my last advice, and you probably will say, wow, he didn't go 6 hours. Okay. It's time to be you. This is another thing near and dear to my heart. Because at one stage, what happened in the School of Management was that we lost the people who raised funds for us. And my buddy, Amy, and I joined together, and we were all over the place, going to different cities, particularly New York, and doing the work of the professionals who were gone before us. Okay. And the idea is this. You need to recognize that, we need the funds to do a lot of things that we do. When you take a look at your own life here, some of you got so many scholarships. Outside of the scholarships and awards, you traveled for regional meetings and national meetings and so on and so forth. Some of you are, teaching on the side here and there. All that needs money. Money, money. And some people have come before you and they have put it all together for you throughout your career as a student. It's about time as you graduate and you go out there that indeed you turn around also and do something. Our main way of saying the things was, it doesn't matter how much you give back. It matters that you give back something. And you should make that your motto. Okay? And make sure that indeed you do give back something. There is a saying that do unto others what you like them do to you. We can reverse it a little bit and say, do unto others what had been done to you. What had been done to you is some of these people that you talk to today, they give back. It allowed the school, the department to do a lot of things for you, to pay for you to go to regional meetings, national meetings, and so on. So it's your turn. It's your turn. Remember all your friends and faculty and keep them updated. And be sure to lend your time, your talents, and your treasure. And on that note, believe it or not, go blue. I'm done.